Well, welcome back in, everybody, to another edition of the 19th Hole Podcast for golfers. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers. I decided to leave the logo shirt at home and wear the logo hat. I don't do it too often, and I thought, hey, I might as well change it up. What the heck? Anyway, glad to have you with us. No matter what platform you are watching us on, we got a hell of a great show for you. We got a gentleman on that we haven't had on for a while. Very lucky to get him. You're really going to enjoy him because not only does he know about the golf swing, he knows about the golf game because he's been doing golf for a long, long time. Let me tell you a little bit about our special guest, Mark Lye. Mark is a former PGA Tour player. I think he was out there for about 18 years. He is currently in his 18th year, coincidentally, as an analyst for the Golf Channel. So if you've been playing golf for any length of time, watching golf on TV, especially the Golf Channel, I'm sure you're familiar with the name Mark Lye. And then Mark went to play on the Champions Tour after turning 50. He doesn't even look 50. He looks great. But Mark turned professional in 1975 after really a stellar career at San Jose State University, which I know a lot of people that went to San Jose, which is really, really a terrific place to get your education. So right now, my pleasure to bring on Mr. Mark Lye. And Mark, so happy to have you here. I appreciate you taking the time, especially at night where you are in Florida. But let me start off and ask you, let me get into the women's tour a little bit. Do you think the American LPGA Tour players are ever going to dominate again on their tour, or does anybody really care?
I didn't used to care, but I do like the LPGA Tour. They've come a long way since, I want to say, the 90s, even the early, 2000s. I mean,
Yeah.
I think Nelly Korda is basically doing the most for that tour,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Charlie Hall and some of, Lydia Ko is bringing it back. They happen to be in Naples this week at the CME,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I live these days. And my daughter is 17 years old and playing some great golf. In fact, she got a nice golf scholarship to go to High Point University.
Awesome.
So, in my days at Golf Channel, I basically have been retired from Golf Channel for quite a while now, but I did spend 18 years there. And, those were the Annika years. And you
Yeah.
needed somebody to basically carry the torch. And I definitely think it's, Rose Zhang, as well as Nelly Korda and Lydia Ko,
Uh-huh.
and Charlie Hall is there. And so I think it's a very good product. And I think it's because they're more like an international world type tour, which
Yeah.
I think has been missing on the PGA Tour. And I think that's why, LIV has been making it, because they have tournaments. LIV has tournaments basically all over the
All
world.
over.
The PGA Tour has been more USA centric
Yeah.
for quite some time. They tried doing a tournament in Australia, and they've done them every which way. But I think the tour was being USA bound, and it wasn't getting out to enough places. So the original question was, the LPGA Tour, does anyone care? I think there are plenty of people that care out there. I think it's an outstanding tour. Guys like me, as I'm getting older, I can probably relate a lot more to some of the girls hitting the ball than I can to Dustin Johnson or Scotty Scheffler. I mean, let's be real. My club head speed's down just barely over 100. And, it used to be about 113 to 115. So I can relate. So I guess we all have
Yeah.
our comfort zone. And, I just played in a Pro-Am the other day, and I saw, Brittany Lincecum was there, and
Uh-huh.
Steve Stricker's daughter is she's playing some good golf. And another one I met was Danny Holmquist, and there was Brittany Lang was there, and several of the LPGA players. I don't know if any of them were in the CME, but look, I think it's a good product, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, their purses are up next year again.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
playing for some pretty decent money. So
They
I
are.
think it's got a lot of allure to it, Dennis.
Don't you think, Mark, you agree with me that I think one of the things they are missing, and I think one of the things that would help them if they developed some type of rivalry. PGA Tour has always done good when they've had a rivalry, and I think that's lacking from the LPGA Tour, number one. And Mark, what do you think? They're getting hammered, article after article after article, and I'm talking industry people. They're getting hammered about slow play, and I have to agree with that to a certain extent.
Oh,
What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I agree on the men's tour and the LPGA. I can't look. They pick it up in junior golf. I've been watching my daughter. She's now 17. She'll be 18 next month. She's going to be going to college in less than a year. And just going to these junior tournaments and seeing how I guess, powers that be in junior golf, they're not really stressing the need for speed.
Yeah.
You know, I'm seeing them adjust the golf ball. On the green, it's got to be just right. It's got to be lined up. Look, I think that line ought to be taken off the golf ball. I think that's an artificial aid, to be honest with you. I've never agreed with that. And so now everyone's got this, the way they're standing over the line, checking the way that the putt breaks by, which foot is higher, left or right.
And they're looking stupid because of aim point.
That's it. It's aim point. It's aim point. No,
Yeah.
it's like, don't give them too much stuff
Yeah.
to work out.
Right.
I mean, it used to be, okay, get the ball on the ground,
Right.
read the putt, and putt the damn thing.
Right.
Now it's like, the aim point
Exactly.
and lining up the ball just perfectly. And they get over the ball and they say, it's not quite right.
Yeah.
I'm going to get down and I'm going to do it again. But this has been going on forever.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I played the tour from 77 through 95. And it's been the same thing. They're almost afraid to penalize people, and they'll do it on occasion.
Yeah.
They won't get the right guy. That's the whole thing for me, is that they won't get the right guy. And the right guy, it's really funny how Brian Harmon is talking about, the PGA Tour. I guess he's on the board or something like that. And he says, we just don't have time. We've got to cut the fields down. I mean, they've been trying to cut the fields down forever. And now because of LIV, now the PGA Tour is saying, well, we got to cut the fields down. Well, and then the excuse that they're using is because, we don't have enough daylight for a 144-man field or a 156-man field. So this, Brian, he basically said, the play is too slow. Meanwhile, he's taking 25 waggles before he hits a shot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, there's room for people.
Yeah.
But they have to get everybody. It's got to be a shot penalty. It can't be just a fine. It's got to be a shot. And that's the way I've always felt. But, slow play, there are people that get litigious and everything. You find me, I'm going to take you to court. There's all this kind of crap too.
Yeah, it's just not right. One of the things that I was reading about and talking to people about, Mark, that bugged me was cutting down on the Monday qualifiers. You're eliminating guys that want to get out on tour, that are good players, and you're just basically putting it in the hands of the well-established guys that have been out there, perhaps former winners. And I just think that's terrible. Everybody's trying to make a living. Everybody's trying to get on tour, and you're throwing a big roadblock in their way.
Yeah, that's true. It's very rare that a Monday qualifier really does much, but it happens,
Yeah.
and that's what makes the game so great. It's an open qualifier. I mean, there's a lot of good stories out there for U.S. Opens and PGAs.
Mm-hmm.
When that Michael, I guess it was Michael Block, got out there, and came out of nowhere and had a top 20 in the PGA Championship, or maybe even a top 10. But it is rare, but it does happen. And I
Yeah.
think right now, the PGA Tour and some of the players that are running the tour are saying, "Yeah, forget about the riffraff. Let's just get the guys that we know are going to be good." Well, then what do you
That's
do? Then where
that's
does everybody play? You know?
that is the problem. You hit the nail right on the head. Personally, I think all of the say the top 10 guys in earnings should not be on the players board. They got enough money
No.
where they could care less really what goes on, and they're really hurting the newbies, the guys that are trying to make it on tour. And you got to get their perspective. Those are the guys that are in the trenches. They're not way up here. You get some realistic viewpoints with guys like that rather than a Rory, rather than than a bunch of other
Yeah.
guys.
Well, the guys that are making decisions are not the right guys,
Yeah.
in my estimation. I mean, you got Rory McIlroy, who was very outspoken, and he's out there playing right now. It's
Right.
almost like an inside game. It's a rig job. Of course, I want if Rory McIlroy is one of the top 10 players in the world.
Yep.
Of course, I want a smaller field because then Harry Hack can't beat me from 90th place.
You're right.
So I think it's a conflict of interest.
Good point. Great
And I
point.
mean, you've got to have guys that are familiar with the game, who are past champions or whatever, have put their time in, and then maybe they're not playing anymore.
Right.
They can't be. But I think golf is it's a longevity thing now, where Steve Stricker is playing good now as he possibly ever did.
Yep.
And I'd love to have him on the board, and to get him on the board, you got to get him while he's playing, right?
Right.
So maybe it ought to be a guy that basically is out after a 10 or 15-year career, and then he should be on the board. I remember when Gene Upshaw was the guy. I mean, he played for the Raiders. He was a great player, and then he became, head of the players union.
Mm-hmm.
He knew what he was doing, but to have
Yep.
guys still playing the game and making rules for the guys that he's competing with doesn't seem to be the real deal to me.
Yeah, that's a conflict. You're 100% right. 100% right. When do you think the commissioner of the PGA Tour, and he's been in a lot of hot water over the last year or two since the Tour and Live have really gone at it, so to speak, and everybody's hoping they're going to settle this damn thing, but you think he's going to get pushed out by the board, by the players, by somebody? There's another guy that could walk away, got more money than he can ever spend. I don't think it's going to make a difference to him.
Dennis, I thought he would have been out, Jay Monahan, and I have no, personal beef against Jay. But as soon as he went across the line and told players not to leave
Yeah,
the PGA Tour,
yeah,
and then he, behind their back with Jimmy Dunn or whoever it was, they went and made their own little deal with, the powers that be on
Yeah.
LIV.
right.
To me, it was like, if you're a player and you saw that happen, how could you ever allow Jay Monahan to make one more dime off the backs of the PGA Tour?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I would have fired that guy immediately because, I mean, whose plate are you eating off of?
Yeah.
That's the deal. Oh, you're eating off of 2 plates now. So the players are just looking like idiots because they trusted Jay Monahan,
Right.
and he's saying, I can do this and I can do that, where really the only thing that Jay Monahan could do was criticize the players that left
Yeah.
the PGA Tour,
Right.
which I found was about as low as you could go in the scale of golf, because golf is about a gentleman playing against another gentleman, or a lady playing against another
Yeah,
lady.
absolutely.
When you start attacking your own, like Greg Norman, yeah, you may not like Greg Norman. Okay. I like Greg Norman. I've known him since before he was on the PGA Tour. Pretty decent guy. But they made him out like he was, the
Yeah,
Antichrist. And
yeah.
then Phil Mickelson, what? He won 45 times? I mean, and now the tour's, blasting him when he went to LIV. What would you do? I mean, and then the Golf Channel with these guys, Brandel, Chambly, and man, I tell you what, I couldn't get out of Golf Channel fast enough because that guy's off his rocker, and along with this guy Eamon Lynch.
Oh, whoa.
These guys were eating off the PGA Tour trough and drinking the Kool-Aid. But I knew
Yeah.
for my own self that if I was offered that, if I get PGA Tour versus LIV, I'm going to go LIV all day long, every day, because you've got longevity. For those first guys that signed, they signed 4-year deals. The most you ever get on a PGA Tour is 1 year at a time.
You're right.
Unless you win, then you get a 2-year exemption.
Right.
So, to me, like Harold Varner, slam dunk. If you're offered 30 to 40 million to go play LIV, you've never won on the PGA Tour. I mean, in a year on the PGA Tour, he could be picking up range balls. Okay, he could be at his Muni club in Gastonia, and after having a bad year on the PGA Tour, he could be picking up range balls. Okay, you got that. Or Harold, we're going to offer you $35 million and a 4-year contract. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
What would you do, Dennis?
I couldn't pack fast enough, Mark. I could not pack a suitcase fast enough, and I'm saying, I'm here.
And the crowds that you're playing in front of, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you really are looking for when you're getting out of college and playing on mini tours.
Sure.
Wow, I'd really like to play in front of people where it really means something. Well, man, go to Adelaide and check that tournament out. Go to Doral. Go to, wherever. There's some super crowds. It's a different crowd.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the LIV crowd is more synonymous with the Waste Management crowd.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
that works.
Yeah. Oh, that works. That works
So-
really good. Yeah.
When I see guys jumping the tour, I say, man, what took them so long?
Yeah.
And so I don't begrudge anyone that left, because, hey, we're all big boys.
Right.
We have families.
Right. They're doing
We
what
have
they think
needs.
is best for their family and for their future. It's hard to turn down the bucks, let's face it. And that's
Well, it
where
is.
it's at.
Yeah.
That's where it's at. Anyway, Mark, stay right there, please. We're going to take a quick break. And we come back, we'll have a lot more with our special guest, Mr. Mark Lai. So don't move, stay right there. We're back right after this. I'm Dennis Silvers, host of the 19th Hole Golf Podcast, asking each and every person who plays golf, beginner or seasoned player, what's the most important club in your bag? Chances are you'll get a lot of different answers. There really is only one right answer. And if you guessed your putter, you are 100% correct. Just ask any professional golfer, man or woman who plays on any major tour. I am very excited to announce that Zebra Golf, one of the game's most iconic putter brands, has made a long-awaited return to golf's retail marketplace with the launch of their milled series that feature 4 new putter styles designed to suit even my putting stroke. All putters, like golf clubs, are not created equal. Zebra mill putters are now offered in your choice of 4 awesome models: 2 blades, 1 mallet, and 1 higher MOI Fang design, with adjustable weights available to help customize your putter. All come with a mid-size grip for enhanced feel. So, if you want the one club that's going to lower your scores, why wait? Go to zebragolf.com and put one in your bag today. The only thing you've got to lose are strokes. Hi, I'm Dennis Silvers, host of the 19th Hole Podcast for golfers, here to tell you about a product that's improved my game, Poptical sunglasses. Unlike ordinary sunglasses, Popticals are collapsible using a unique rail system that lets you easily store them in their protective case. They offer crystal clear vision, UV protection, and are scratch resistant and water repellent. Poptical's golf-specific lenses feature purple and violet tints that reduce the grain saturation of golf courses and unleash the golfer's ability to distinguish between green gradients to identify course contours and variations on every shot, even grain patterns on the greens. Admittedly, they look great on and off the course. Plus, Popticals come with a 2-year warranty, a 30-day return policy, and make the perfect gift for the golfer in your life. Visit Popticals.com for more info. All right, we are back, everybody, for more than 19th Hole Podcast. Having a great conversation with Mr. Mark Lye. And Mark, I want to ask you about Tiger Woods. A lot of controversy about Tiger. I'm talking to industry people. We're talking about, well, is he going to, join the Champions Tour? Is he going to play? I personally think he is going to join, primarily because he gets to ride in a cart, number one. Number two, his ego is going to say, well, I could win some major championships on the senior tour, and I certainly want to do that. I think it still remains to be seen if, in fact, he's going to be all that competitive. But he's going to get paid somehow, some way to play on the senior tour. I still call it senior tour. But what do you think? And how are they going to hide the money?
I don't know how they hide the money, but they will have to entice him in some way.
Yeah.
I guess he could probably fit more money in his bank account. I don't know how, but I look at him being the icon that will make that tour go better. A lot like Caitlin Clark and the WNBA.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody ought to be paying her a boatload, because I wouldn't, watch a WNBA game before she played ever. No chance. But now that she's in there, yeah, it's like, okay, right now there are a lot of people that say I would never watch PGA Tour champions. They just say, I'll never watch it, even though Bernard Langer at age 67 is still winning golf tournaments. There's really not much excitement out there. I mean, Phil was bringing out some excitement, and I would love to see Phil and Tiger play, but until they get a deal going, that's not going to happen. But iconic, is it money that would entice Tiger to play, or just to get back in the competition? Obviously, Tiger can't walk much anymore.
No.
And the carts, look, I played a few years on the Champions Tour. I played from age 50 to 56. I played in maybe 44 events while I was working at Golf Channel some time ago. And I hated the carts. I couldn't stand it. I just would not take a cart.
Interesting.
Just not going to do it. But now, people are taking carts.
Sure.
And, John Daly's taking a cart. Yeah, it's great for John Daly, So if you don't think that, walking the course is part of the sport, I guess, it's okay. But since everyone's allowed to take a cart, that's right up Tiger's alley.
Yeah.
Now, has he played enough golf in his life, Dennis? I mean, really? I don't know what the benefit of him playing out there would be, unless it's some mega million. Maybe if he lost it all, like John Daly at one of the
Yeah.
nightclubs or something. I don't know, but I would love to see it. I think it would invigorate that tour, and I
Oh, no
know
doubt, no doubt.
just about everybody out there, and it's good quality golf. It's just not PGA Tour golf,
Yeah.
and they don't get the crowds,
No.
but with Tiger they would.
Yeah, exactly
That's
right.
kind
And
of
they're
what
they're
germinated.
licking their chops waiting for him to come out. And I'll tell you where they would put the money. He would say it's going towards his foundation. You watch. I'll bet you I'm not wrong. But we'll just
I
we'll
hope you're
just
right.
yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. What Mark, if you were commissioner of the PGA Tour, and I think you'd make a great commissioner too, by the way, because you know so darn much about the game, what's the one rule you would change immediately?
Well, first of all, the flag stick rule, I hate that. I know that sounds pretty minuscule to everybody, but I think that's the dumbest rule ever. That along with dropping the ball from your knee,
Knees.
you know, it's like, so, so here's the thing with the flag stick rule. The only shot it keeps in is a bad shot. Okay. And to me, them making it easier in that way, it doesn't make sense. Now, this is the problem of you're playing in a foursome, or you're playing in a threesome,
Yeah.
or God help you, you're playing in a twosome. One guy or one gal likes it in, the other doesn't like it in. And I look at this with my daughter playing really good junior golf and high school golf, and some of the kids are just ingrained. I have to have the flag in. Well, my
Yeah,
daughter
right.
doesn't like it in, you
Yeah.
know, and I don't like it in. I'm a traditionalist, I guess, and plus, I've seen some good shots get beat out of the hole by a flag stick that's
Yeah.
too lively.
Yeah.
That one to me is it should have never even come around. I don't think so. As far as another rule I would change, I think the tapping down spike marks has gone way too far. And I played on the tour until, late 94, early 95. Man, you couldn't get near the line with a putter head. I mean, unless it was fixing a ball mark. And
Yeah.
now they're basically mashing that line from 3 feet. I
Yeah.
mean,
True.
it's like
True.
a little steamroller going there. So I think
True.
that is even more serious than the flagstick rule. I
Yeah.
would take the tamping down of line away from it right now. Hey, it worked pretty good for the first 4 centuries.
Right.
Why not after that?
Yeah.
And there's another thing with the slow play that we
I
talked
agree
about.
with you. I agree with you.
You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Those are two good ones, Mark. I 100%. I'm 100% with you on that. So you
And Dennis,
sound
if I was commissioner, first of all, I wouldn't be. My life is way too easy right now. But I would get the bodies together. I would get LIV and PGA Tour together. And the only thing that's keeping them apart is the ego of some players on the PGA Tour side and
right.
Jay Monahan for whatever burr he's got up his butt. I
Yep.
don't get it. They would not even talk to Greg Norman.
Yeah.
Okay? So they're saying, screw you. We're not going to mess with you at all.
Yeah,
You don't even
yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? He exists. And, the LIV is for real. I mean, I look at some of the players out there. Bryson DeChambeau, if you're the PGA Tour and you don't find a way for Bryson DeChambeau or John Rahm to play on your tour, you got to have your head examined.
Yeah. You're
These
missing
two
the boat.
guys, they're unreal. And Cameron Smith and all these guys, I just don't get it. How it has stayed apart this long. There's got to be something going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know why they haven't merged by now. So to me, it's like crazy.
Yeah.
The only time we're seeing guys, together is the Masters,
Right.
the U.S. Open, and then we didn't even see Taylor Gooch at the U.S. Open. He didn't even try to qualify, and he's one of the best players in the world. So to me, I'd find a way that we can have these two teams unite and say, hey,
Coexist.
yeah, coexist somehow and have some common thread where we're going to play in about 6 or 8 events a year rather
Right.
than
Right.
the particular 4 that we're talking about.
And that's why, as you know, and I wanted to talk to you about that, what would you do, again, putting you in the commissioner's seat, to improve the ratings that have been slipping badly on PGA Tour events lately?
Well, I think I draw it like this, and I'm a very political minded guy. I'm a real conservative guy. I'm from California, and I live here in Florida, and I've seen what the politics have done to my hometown. I live very close to San Francisco,
Mm-hmm.
and I see how the politics have ruined this country. All right, I see the politics ruining golf the same way. I think that a lot of the malice that's going on is because of the writers. The reason your show is doing so well and the reason other podcasts are doing so well is because they want to get the straight dope from you and
I
the
agree.
guys that really care about the game.
I
They don't
agree.
want to get it from the San Francisco Chronicle or the Washington
Right.
Post or
Right.
any of that stuff. Oh, and those writers that are out there every week, let me tell you, and I was one of them. I did TV for 18 years. I did radio for 7 years. Am I proud of that? Not really. But I did see the other side. I saw it was almost like a Republicans versus Democrats. And guess who the Democrats are on the golf side? It's the PGA Tour. Their same tactics were going on. I might get some hate mail on this probably, but to me, it looked like a direct one-on-one parallel all the
Wow.
way. It
Wow.
looked like a parallel. I saw the Attack and Destroy with Greg Norman and anyone that left the PGA Tour,
Yeah.
like Phil Mickelson, and like a lot of guys, Sergio Garcia, man, they badmouth him. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
that's what the politics of the game, and that's why I
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like lost it. I lost my interest in golf because remember how I said at the beginning of the show, we're gentlemen
Right.
playing against other gentlemen and
Right.
ladies playing against
Right.
ladies. When you start going this way, attacking each other, then I think the interest isn't there. But
Yeah.
I
Not good.
honestly think that the golf lamestream media is derelict in its duty to basically buy what Jay Monahan is selling.
Yeah.
That's my deal.
Yeah.
That's my deal. So
100%.
we should be all together by now. What's it been going on 3 years now?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
you're telling me that we don't have enough common ground to join his forces? So it became LIV against the world. I mean, DP was against. Now DP is allowing players from LIV to join their tour again. How about
Right.
that? How about that?
Right.
So to me, it seems like, well, it's good enough for them. Why isn't it good enough for us? So why can't we
Agree.
join? Why can't LIV players like Phil play in San Diego or Phoenix or
Yeah.
some place that he grew up at
Dumb.
and play that way?
Dumb.
Why
Dumb.
can't
Dumb.
he? I mean, he
I
play
know.
in his LIV tournaments, and
Yeah.
then he can also play in half a dozen tournaments
Yeah.
in
Absolutely.
America
Dumb.
and
Dumb.
Champions
Dumb.
Tour.
They would
Yeah.
get more gallery, which they need, and more enthusiasm. Viewership would go up. It's a pretty simple deal. I'm guessing, Mark, you're not a fan of rolling back the ball in a couple of years.
Wow, I think that once the cows get out of that gate, it's really, really hard to get them back in, or horses or whatever. I know Lee Trevino said, "Hey, once they get out of that gate, they ain't coming back." It's hard. It's hard to let them out and then bring them back. I don't know. I guess now that I'm an older guy and I can't relate to a ball hit by Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah.
I guess maybe if I were a USGA guy, I'd say screw them. let's bring it back. But you gave them the ball, you gave them the clubs,
Right.
you gave them the shafts, you gave them all the things, and they found a way to beat you. Now you're going to change the rule.
Right.
They did that to Bryson DeChambeau with putter, and Bernard Langer. You can't anchor the putter. Well, does that mean that everybody that did anchor it for the first 25 years? Does that mean we're just going to throw away those trophies?
Mm-hmm.
No, they should have got on that thing immediately.
Yeah.
And look, I believe, Dennis, that there's a way that they can make the golf courses still competitive enough, even with the ball going like it is. There's no sense in saying that you have to have a 7,500 yard long golf course when you got courses like Pebble Beach and Harbor Town and some of the other ones. There are ways to make those courses tough.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
The ball is, I disagree. You're right. You had me pegged. I disagree with rolling back the ball.
Yeah, I got you. I'm starting to get to know you. Anyway, Mark, hang in there. We're up against another short break, and we're going to be right back with more with our special guest, Mark Ley, golf broadcaster. Back right after this. The revolutionary Power to Golf Club is helping golfers around the world continue to enjoy the greatest game of all. This amazing club requires no swing to hit shots from 50 up to 225 yards. That's right, no swing to hit shots, including fades, draws, low shots, as well as high ones. One incredible club does it all. Golfers with a wide variety of physical issues, including bad backs, hips, shoulders, and more, are now back in the game golfing with friends and family. Just set the club to the desired distance, and with a push of the button, the easy-to-use Power to Golf Club launches shots down the fairway and onto the green. The Power to Golf Club has been endorsed by some of the biggest names in golf, and the number of golfers enjoying the game by use of our unique technology continues to grow. Whether a physical issue or just want to join in on the fun, the Power to Golf Club is for you. Don't be left on the sidelines. Get back in the game today. Visit at powergolfclub.com.
As golfers, we want instant gratification when it comes to a better golf swing and playing better golf. Impossible, you say? Not anymore. Golf Boost Artificial Intelligence, AI, has developed and patented the most advanced swing analysis technology in golf. Simply, the algorithms detect your body position and then analyze your golf swing using their artificial intelligence technology. The AI captures all the relevant data from your swing video and then presents you a personalized lesson. Golf Boost AI is the ultimate swing analysis and virtual instruction system for golfers of all ages and abilities. This sophisticated software takes into consideration your height and build, playing level, and returns the ideal solution for your swing. Bottom line, Golf Boost AI is an incredibly convenient and cost-effective tool for golfers to improve their swing. Go to golfboost.com and check it out. The app is free to download and try. Visit golfboost.com today.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. We're continuing our great conversation with Mark Ley, who's our special guest here on the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers, and I'm your host, Dennis Silvers. And Mark, let me ask you this: what do you think about Comcast wanting to dump the Golf Channel?
Well, I think they've been struggling for quite some time. Usually when you are struggling, you try and condense everything. They took their operation up to Hartford or somewhere in Connecticut.
Yeah.
I think Arnold Palmer would be turning over in his grave for sure because, I was at Golf Channel when it launched, and Arnold Palmer was a huge part of things, and he said it's got to be in a place that people can play golf all the time to keep the interest up. I honestly think that the Golf Channel hasn't represented golf the best in the last 4 years since LIV has come out. They've basically alienated some players, and they've criticized them so much that I think, it used to be, you just go watch golf on
Right.
Golf Channel, and
Yeah.
it didn't matter what kind of golf it was,
Yeah.
amateur golf, ladies golf,
Right.
junior golf, all of this stuff. But I think they kind of, went the wrong way. And I don't know if it's because, the numbers are down or whatever. But look, I was in that business for, 18 years, and there's always people way above everyone in the studio that think they know better than everybody else. And those are the
Right.
guys that own the NBCs and the CBSs
Right.
and all that stuff.
Right.
So they do what they can, and hopefully the fan doesn't suffer. But I think Golf Channel was going the wrong way. Even though I still know a lot of people that are working there, I don't share the views that the Golf Channel portrays against LIV. And they basically, they say pick a side. Well, to me, there's no side. It's all sides.
Yeah,
The
right.
game. It's the game.
It's the game.
And they picked a side.
Right.
And I think they lost that battle. So who knows what the heck is going on? I think in all TV, it's a moving target. And radio, as you know, you have to keep putting out the product. You were asking me earlier, is the LPGA gonna matter? Yeah, if they keep putting out the product, is LIV gonna flourish? If they keep putting out the product.
You're right.
But the PGA Tour, I mean, if it wasn't for the U.S. Open, the Masters, the Players Championship, and even the Players Championship, oh, big bogey. Big bogey by not letting Cameron Smith defend his title
Yeah.
because he went to LIV.
Yeah.
I mean, so this is how the tour works, and you
Yeah.
gotta love it. I'm still a member. I've been a member since 1977, and I still pay my money to get my little money clip, my Mark Live money clip. And if I didn't get in Augusta, maybe I wouldn't have been a member so long. But I just take that money clip with me, and I can get into Augusta. But they've done some things wrong, and I can't say that I endorse everything that the tour has done
Yeah.
right. I mean, my first problem was when they took Casey Martin, who had, you remember Casey Martin? He
had a leg
big problem
issue and big deal
leg,
with the cart, and yeah.
They embarrassed him, and
Yeah.
I didn't agree with that. I didn't agree with the time when the PGA Tour wanted to put it to the. Do you remember when the officials had a big problem? They were paying the officials like nothing. All right, and then the officials had to kind of unionize and get somebody behind them. Well, I always felt like the officials were an integral part of our championships, but they didn't get treated that way. And
Correct.
isn't it funny, Dennis? I mean, you'd have to be pretty unintelligent to see that the LIV has actually forced the PGA Tour's hand. They forced them to streamline. They forced them to pay more money to all the players.
Right.
And the LIV guys are just making it hand over fist. And,
Yeah.
who's saying that they're not entitled to that? But the tour players had to be saying, what the hell's going on? All of a
Yeah.
sudden, LIV comes out, and now, Jay Monahan, we've got $20 million purses and a $25 million purse.
Yeah.
Where was that?
Where was
You
that?
know?
Right. Yeah.
That the competition forces the hand of somebody with the status quo. And I'll tell you, with equipment, it's the same way. FootJoy was the only decent shoe company out there. When Nike came out and Reebok and some of these other guys and Adidas came out, it forced FootJoy to make a better shoe.
Yeah.
Same with the shafts.
Yeah.
True Temper, that was it. That was it. Then Joe Braley came out with the precision shaft. Guess what? Now, True Temper saying, oh, we got to make dynamic gold, and we got to
Yeah,
have 5
yes.
levels of the X shaft, and we got to have 4 levels of the stiff shaft. I mean, basically, competition makes you better. And
Absolutely.
I honestly think that when you've got a monopoly like the
Yeah.
tour had,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're not forced to make any changes for the better of the membership.
Competition is always good. I think both for the companies and for the consumer. 100%. Absolutely. Before I let you go, because we're out of time, what can we expect from Mark Lai in the future? What are you up to? You got plans? You going to write a book? You're going to what? What are you going to do?
I'm just going to sail off into the sunset because I'd like you to keep in touch with my daughter, Eva Lai. She is going to be good. And
I'd love to have her on. Could we arrange that?
Yeah, we could, but she's going to be going to school at High Point, North Carolina, at High Point University. And she will be everything that I wanted to be and couldn't. But her game is so good, it's frightening. I send her swing to Hank Haney, and he writes me back, and he says, Mark, don't F that swing up. He says, she's got it. And so if you want to know what I'll be doing, I'll be following her occasionally, but I won't be doing much except for on Elon Musk X.
Okay.
And it's Let It Fly, FLYE. So I have a lot of fun with that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I'd love to get her on, Mark. If we could arrange that, we'll do something with it, and then we'll talk about her game and school and where she wants to go with it, and a whole lot of stuff. Anyway, Mark, thank you so much for coming on. You're just a joy. I love you because you're honest. You're a straight shooter. You're a great announcer. And you ever get out to Mediterra?
Yeah, I do. They're right across the street from where I am right now. I'm at Talus Park where I live, and I'm also a member at Bonita Bay and a place called Old Collier Golf Club, one of the finest clubs in the country. Yeah,
Adam Bazalgette, who runs the school there, is a good friend of mine, just a great guy. And Mediterra is wonderful. I would love to get out there and play. If I get out your way, I'm going to let you know. We're going to tee it up.
Let me know.
I will definitely let you know. Anyway, happy holidays to you, and we'll get you back sooner than later. Thank you.
Thanks.
That's a tough thing. All right, everybody, we're going to take one more short break. Come back. We're going to close up the show. Be right back.
Carter Bonus of Spectrum Golf not slowing down. His third year at the PGA Show, and the cameras are still following him. This time, Whistle Sports Media and Entertainment and Fox 35's morning show in Orlando, Florida. Carter, who is on the autism spectrum, has been Sports Illustrated Sports Kid of the Year, the Masters UPS Unstoppable CEO of the Year, all while securing a spot on the Stars of the Spectrum golf team created by former NFL quarterback Doug Flutie. Carter has been telling his incredible story about why he started his line of golf apparel around the globe, and his impact is making a difference.
I know that some stuff seems hard and that it's impossible, but one of my favorite quotes is, "It seems impossible until it's done." And over the past 3 years, I never thought I would get here and do all the stuff that I'm doing right now. Be Sports Illustrated Sports Kid of the Year for 2022. Be UPS's and the Masters Unstoppable CEO. Meet Steph Curry. Meet all of these good people. Meet Ernie Els, Alex Cheka. Meet all, and be speaking in schools and in front of all of you good people. And everyone that I've spoken to before. I never thought I would do any of this. When I was little, I thought I would be nothing. But now I'm actually here, and I am successful, and I am happy, and I am thriving. And I'm saying, if I can do it, you guys can do it.
Carter, who loves playing golf, designed his own logo and put it on the softest material he could find because he has a skin sensitivity. So it not only looks good, but feels good too. He offers hats, belts, shirts, pants, and more. For more information, go to carterspectrumgolf.com.
One of the perks about being in golf media is that I get to try every club ever made. Of course, like most things, some are better than others. I'm here to tell you that I have found unquestionably the absolute best performing set of irons I have ever played, and my scores show it. Let me introduce you to Grindworks, custom fitted irons that are made to fit your game. Grindworks offers players 3 different styles of irons. You can choose muscle back irons, cavity back irons, and even blades, along with some awesome wedges. And when you purchase your clubs, Grindworks lets you choose the type of shaft you want, the type grip you prefer, and even will adjust the loft and lie of your clubs if needed. That's unheard of. So what are you waiting for? Feel the power and experience and performance of these amazing clubs. Simply go to grindworksusa.com or call 281-651-4046 to order. Trust me, your handicap will love you for it. All right, that's going to wrap up this edition of the 19th Hole Podcast. For golfers, for Mark Lai, I'm Dennis Silvers. Wishing you nothing but fairways and greens, everybody. You get a chance to play some golf. Get out there. Work on your game. We're going to be back here, same place. We were a little bit later than normal today due to the schedule of our guests, but we'll see you at our regular time next week. So until then, so long.